micro SD express cards popped up for pre-order for Switch 2. Now, I know y'all wondering, like, what the hell is micro SD express? Basically, micro SD express SD cards are bigger, stronger, faster SD cards than your regular SD cards now you use for your Switch. Basically, in confined terms, micro SD express cards are SSD-like memory for mobile devices. Now you have to ask yourself, why would Switch 2 need SSD-like storage and memory? What games only require SSD-like storage? Current generation games. That's the only games that require them. Games on PS4 do not require that. Games on Xbox One don't require that. Games on PS4 Pro, they don't require that type of storage. The only games that require SSD-like storage are current generation games that are on Xbox Series S and X and PS5 and PS5 Pro. So that was a dead giveaway. That was a dead giveaway on what the capabilities of this system is. There's no reason to have that type of storage. There's no reason for Nintendo or the mystery partner to partner up with Samsung to make this type of storage. The only reason this type of storage exists because the Switch 2 is going to need it. Why would the Switch 2 need SSD-like capabilities in storage if it ain't going to have games that need SSD-like storage to run? It's simple math here, people. But these are the things that these experts at Digital Foundry don't want to tell you. These are the things that these people on social media don't want to tell you that think they're spec gurus and they're technical spec savvy. There's no other reason for Switch 2 to have this as their main and only storage option for the system. It's simple math here, people. We don't have to go through, is the damn chip 8 nanometer or 5 nanometer? We don't have to do all that. We just have to look at the facts and the info that are put out in front of our faces. It's that simple. And oh, by the way, these micro SD express cards showed up the same day that all those third-party Switch 2 games showed up internally. I wonder why the SSD cards. I wonder why the SSD like micro express SD cards showed up the same day that these third-party games showed up internal systems for Switch 2. I wonder why it's a coincidence both of those fucking things showed up at the same time. I think even a fucking mouse could figure out what the fuck is going on here. It's very fucking simple. It's very fucking simple. We ain't got to sit here and look at no fucking motherboard. We ain't got to analyze the goddamn memory bandwidth or how much RAM, if it's LP, DDR5 or DDR6. We ain't got to go through all that shit. We just got to go through the evidence that is presented to us right in front of our faces. All we got to do is put 1 and 1 together, and all we got to do is put 2 and 2 together and get the fucking result. It's that simple, people. We ain't got to have all this speculation and talking about performance and all this other shit and people trying to get theories on what the fuck is happening and what the chip nanometer. We ain't got to do all that shit. We just got to line shit up that comes from the horse's mouth, and we got the answers we need. So yes, Tekken 8 was one of the first things that people figured out was, and the next one they figured out, and I don't know if Nate the Hate said this, but I don't know if it was him, but somehow they figured out Metal Gear Solid Delta was one of the games too that was coming from Konami that was coming to Switch 2. So if you basically was still worried about whether this system is a current gen system, you can put that shit to bed. All you have to do is Google micro SD express and you have your answer. The only games that require this type of fast storage are current generation games that are on Xbox Series and PS5. No other games require this. So you got your answer. You got your answer right there and there. So it is what it is. And also, by the way, one thing that was a dead giveaway early on, before any Switch 2 rumors really got ramping up, was Microsoft signing a 10-year contract for Call of Duty with Nintendo. Like, I think that was a dead giveaway, people. Like, that was a super fucking dead giveaway. But somehow we are still talking about this thing possibly being a PS4 in fucking January of 2025. It's like, just believe what comes out the horse's mouth. You don't have to speculate anything else. You can only take what the people give you. They did not sign a 10-year contract for Call of Duty to be content and feature parity with Nintendo for 10 years if the system was not capable of doing that. Like, I'm telling you now, Call of Duty is not being supported on Xbox One and PS4 for 10 years. It's not happening. This is just basically common logic and common sense, and a lot of these people that call themselves tech gurus or tech experts or tech savvy, they lack common sense and common fucking logic. There's no logic in it. It's like, that makes no sense. If the Switch 1 already plays Xbox One and PS4 games, you expect the Switch 2 to play PS4 and Xbox One games? How does that make any fucking logical sense? Why would they call it Switch 2 if that's what it's going to do, the same fucking thing? It wouldn't be called Switch 2. It wouldn't be called a successor. It wouldn't require SSD-like storage. It wouldn't have DLSS technology if it was a PS4. And that's one of the main things that irks me. It's like, you can't have DLSS technology in your system from NVIDIA and be a PS4. That's stupid. It's impossible to do that. The PS4 tech is over 10 years old. DLSS requires modern and new GPU technology. You can't be a PS4 and have DLSS technology. It's so fucking simple to understand, but obviously a lot of people are not tech savvy. They're not into tech like that. They're not into specs like that. I'm not into it like that, but I understand the basics of how it fucking works. So every time I see somebody say PS4 and Switch 2 in the same sentence, it's like, it's impossible. You can't have DLSS technology and be a PS4. DLSS technology is not going to work on 10-year-old tech. It's not. It requires modern technology that came out in 2020 and newer. It's impossible. Like, it's so much stupidity going around. It's just hilarious. I don't know. And I thought people would learn from the first time when Switch 1 got announced, and people perceived that Switch 1 would be able to play any Xbox One and PS4 games, and we turned right the fuck around, and it was PS4 and Xbox One games on Switch. I will never forget the reactions of people when they seen Doom running on Switch for the first time. Like it was some kind of mythical creature that ascended from the fucking heavens. It's like, no, bitches, your experts were wrong. That's why you're fucking flabbergasted right now. You're people that are not really experts, that are only speculative and only fucking talks about their fucking opinions like it's facts. They were wrong again. It's not about Switch being more powerful. So it's not about Switch 2 being more powerful than the Xbox Series S, X, and PS5. It's about Switch 2 being in line with the Xbox Series S and X and PS5. It doesn't have to exceed those. It just needs to be in line to run these games. That's all that it requires. Now, how far and how small that gap will be, we'll soon find out. We don't know exactly how, this DLSS technology is going to work when combined with dedicated gaming hardware. Keep in mind, this has only been on PC, which is an open platform. It's not dedicated gaming console hardware. So I think the results are probably going to be even stronger on a dedicated gaming device. So it's like we're going to see some mythical, magical shit, basically is what I'm saying. You're going to see some mythical, magical shit coming out. So, but you ain't got to worry about current generation games. You're going to see it. A lot of insiders have already came out and said that. Obviously, you see the games that leaked internally for the system. Obviously, you see the third-party companies that Nintendo put on their own internal graphic and showed you. So it's like we're past that point. I don't know when social media is going to get past that point. Maybe they'll get past that point in April when they finally show you these games running on Switch 2, and we can finally move the fuck on and talk about something else. But, you know, the ignorance on this is just crazy. But if you needed your answers of people still trying to tell you it's a PS4, PS4 does not have an SSD. PS4 has old ass GPU technology. PS4 has old ass fucking storage technology. PS4 Pro has old ass GPU technology. PS4 Pro has old ass storage technology. Switch requires new micro SD express technology. That is what it requires. It requires that for a reason. Not just because they just want to fucking sell you a $50 and $90 fucking micro SD express card. It's because it's required. It's required for a reason. Now, what that entails of what you're going to get is going to be pretty simple. You're going to get 1080p in handheld mode. You're going to get 4K docked in dock mode. That's what it entails. How small that power gap is going to be to the other consoles, I think it's going to be very, very minimal, simply because of the DLSS technology. Y'all got to figure some of this shit out. You have to understand, when people show you something, believe them. Don't believe their words, believe their actions. There's a reason why Valve came out with a beefier Steam Deck. There's a reason why the ROG Ally came out with a beefier model. There's a reason why the Legion Go is coming out with a beefier model. There's a reason why Sony pushed and rushed out the PS5 Pro with PSSR technology. There's a reason why these companies did those things. Can you figure out why the reason is? Sony didn't push out the PS5 Pro and PSSR technology to beat Microsoft. They already was beating Microsoft. They pushed that shit out so they could be the first console technically to have an AI upscaler. Basically beating Nintendo to the punch of being the first to have DLSS AI technology in its console. That's why they pushed the fucking PS5 Pro out. They could not have a Nintendo system having more modern hardware than their PlayStation brand. Oh no, they could not have that happen. They had to push that shit out very, very quickly. And that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. Keep in mind, you only heard about a PS5 Pro being in existence after you heard about DLSS being an option for the Switch 2. Nobody really wanted to take that tidbit, but that is the reason why the PS5 Pro came out why it is. Why do you think they keep pushing out bigger and stronger mobile handheld PCs? It ain't because they trying to beat each other. They're trying to beat the Switch 2 to the punch. They're pushing this shit out so they can beat the Switch 2 to the market. That's all this shit been about. Now, granted, it ain't gonna matter a fuck at all. It ain't gonna stop Nintendo at all, but they want to be out there first, and they want to be out there on the market already when this Switch 2 hits. Because if they come after, they have no chance. They have no chance to compete. And that was once I found out about the PS5 Pro, that told me everything I needed to know about the Switch 2. You gotta understand, these companies know about shit well before we get it as a leak on the internet. So, you're trying to tell me Nintendo's coming out with a console that's gonna run games at 4K, run games at 1080p in portable mode, have frame rates 60 frames per second and above? Oh, hell no. Sony said, hell no. We can't let them do that. We can't let them come out and put our PS5 to shame. We gotta put something out expeditiously. And that's what that shit was about. That's all that shit was about. Because you gotta think to yourself, the PS5 Pro was made to beat who? Wasn't trying to beat the fucking Xbox. They was already pummeling the Xbox into the ground. It was to beat Nintendo to the fucking punch. That's what it was for. People just could not put the pieces together. It made fucking sense. Why are these companies pushing out their mobile PCs so rapidly? Why are they showing them so quickly and pushing them out so rapidly? So they can beat the fucking Switch 2. Because they already know what's in the bitch. They know what the Switch 2 has. They know what it's capable of doing. The developers and these third-party companies, they have the real fucking info. Not your favorite fucking YouTuber, not your fake technical analyst like fucking Digital Foundry, not your favorite person on fucking Twitter, X, or Facebook. These third-party companies know what the fuck is going on. They have the real fucking intel and info. And if you just follow people's actions, you will get the answers you want. Because there's no reason for the PS5 Pro to get pushed out like it did. There's no reason for these mobile PC guys to be pushing their mobile PCs out at an accelerated rate the way they're doing. They're trying to beat the Switch 2 to the punch. That's all it is. And if you need more evidence about what I am telling you is factual, go on Twitter, look up PC Gamer. Soon as the Switch 2 was announced, PC Gamer put out a tweet about how Switch 2 ain't going to be able to compare to the new mobile PCs. They're trying to beat Switch 2 to the punch. That's all it was about. But yet, for some reason, the naysayers and the journalists want you to believe it's a PS4. Them third parties, they ain't buying that shit. These mobile PC guys, they not buying that shit because they already know. Do a quick YouTube search of DLSS technology and how that technology is exclusive to only NVIDIA graphics chips. It's only exclusive to NVIDIA themselves. So this technology cannot and will not be on any other platform, even the PS5 Pro. So this is technology that will only be capable on a Nintendo system. Xbox Series S ain't gonna be capable of doing it. Your PS5 Pro ain't gonna be capable of doing it. Nothing else is gonna be capable of doing this. You're going to have your imitations, which is PSSR. It's an imitation trying to get the results of what DLSS does, and it does a shit job of doing it because it was Rust technology anyway. But it's only going to be something that is in a Nintendo system. And I think that really scares the competition. For Nintendo to have a modern technical advantage over other systems, I think that just scares them to death. That's the reason they all react in this way. And that's the advantage Nintendo has. Nobody uses NVIDIA technology, and NVIDIA technology, GPU-wise, is superior than AMD's. That is the consensus. So everybody else uses AMD. Literally, everybody uses AMD all the way down to the mobile PCs. And Nintendo is the only one that's stuck with NVIDIA. NVIDIA has a superior technology, and Nintendo's going to take advantage of that. So I think it kind of really scares a lot of the competition. So they're doing everything in their power to not be left behind by Nintendo of all people in the tech area. That scares them a lot. That scares them a whole fucking lot.